When such a formula is given, do you know to rearrange the formula and make t the subject? Alright, so let's figure out things from the basic. Just be focused and pay attention to what I'm gonna do now. Look at the first sum. X plus d is equals to g. If they tell you to make x the subject, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to make x alone, which means on one side of the equation you must have x and everything else must be in the other side of the equation. So can you see the plus d over here? Right, the plus d. You're supposed to get rid of it from this side. So what do? How do you get rid of this? X plus d. You're supposed to, let's write the equation first. This is x plus d is equals to g. If you want to get rid of this plus d, you're supposed to minus d from this side. If you do something for one side of the equation, you're supposed to do the same thing for the other side of the equation as well. So you're supposed to write a minus d on this side too. So can you see how the d is getting cancelled here? Plus d minus d. So you can cut. So x is equals to g minus d. Let's look at the other example now. C minus 2 is equals to p. Now let's tell that they ask you to make c the subject. What do? Can you see the minus 2 here? You're supposed to get rid of this minus 2 from this side of the equation. So you're supposed to take it to the other side of the equation, right? Or you want to cancel it out. So how do you do that? You can see a minus 2. How can you cancel it out? You're supposed to put a plus 2. So there it becomes c minus 2 plus 2 is equals to, if you do something to one side of the equation, you're supposed to do the same thing to the other side of the equation as well. So you add a plus 2. So you put that plus 2 right here too, right? So can you see these two get cancelled out? Does this make sense? Minus 2 plus 2, so they get cancelled out, right? So which means c is equals to p plus 2, right? And let's look at the other example. If I tell you to make y the subject, y must be alone in one side of the equation and everything else must be onto the other side of the equation. So here you have 5y. What does 5y mean? 5y means 5 into y. So how do I get rid of this 5? Well, what if I divide this 5y by 5? The 5 would get cancelled out, right? So if I do something for one side of the equation, I'm supposed to do the same thing to the other side of the equation as well. So what do I get here? The 5's get cancelled. I get y is equals to 35 divided by 5 is 7, right? So let's do the last example. Capital R divided by 2 is equals to simple r. So if I tell you to make capital R the subject, which means the 2 must be cancelled out. How do I cancel out the 2 here? How do I get rid of the 2 here? Can you see it's a divided by 2, right? The R is getting divided. Capital R is being divided from 2. So what I can do is divided by 2, I put a multiplied by 2 on this side of the equation. So can you see the 2's will get cancelled out? If I do something for one side of the equation, I'm supposed to do the same thing to the other side of the equation as well. So it becomes simple r into 2. So which means capital R is equals to simple r into 2, which means 2 simple r, right? So one thing you can understand here is, let me change the color of my pen. So can you see in all of these places, right? If you have a plus d, when you want to get rid of it, you write minus d. If you have a minus 2, if you want to get rid of that minus 2, you bring it to the other side as a plus 2. If you have a 5, that is, the function is being multiplied, y is being multiplied by 5, what do you do here? You divide the other side of the equation. If you have over here the division, if you want to get rid of that 2, what do? You multiply it. So y'all can clearly see that as you get practice, there's no need to write this step, right? So you can see here x plus d is equals to g. What can I do if I want to make x the subject? Here I can see a plus d. I can at once write g minus d is equal to x. When you have c minus 2 equals p, and if I want to make c the subject and I have to get rid of this minus 2, what do? I write it as plus 2 onto the other side of the equation, right? And 5 into y is 5y is equals 35. What do? Y is equals to, this is multiplying, 5 into y, what do I write it onto the next step? I write 35 divided by 5. And as for capital R divided by 2 is equals to simple r, which means I bring this 2 to this side of the equation as a multiplication, because here it's the function of division, right? R divided by 2 is equals to simple r. So capital R is equals to, this 2 will become a into 2, r into 2. So capital R is equals to 2r. So coming to the question, v equals u plus at. In this question, if you were to make t the subject, what are you supposed to do? So you can see, let me write the equation again. V equals u plus at, right? You're supposed to make t the subject. So can you see here, u is being added to a into t. So if you were to consider this, it's easier to remove the u off first in this side of the equation, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use minus u to remove the u from this side. So it would be u plus at minus u. So if I did something on one side of the equation, I'm supposed to do the same thing to the other side of the equation as well, right? So that would be v minus u is equal to at. Would you agree to this? Right? Now, I have a into t. At is a into t. So to get rid of the a in this side, I'm supposed to divide it by a, isn't it? So let me divide this side also by a. So a gets cut on this side, and ultimately you have t is equals to v minus u divided by a.